Hi friends, I'm Edwin and I'm 24 this year, and just like you guys, I took my O-level results um, 8 years ago around this timing. Yeah, so I would like to share with you what are the possible viable options to take if, let's say, your parents want you to go to JC and you are more keen on going to a polytechnic. Okay, so some of the reasons why I want to share is because I wanted to drop out of JC to go to poly, but in the end I stuck with JC and went on to uni instead. So I just want to share some stuff that most people will not tell you because it's not the most politically correct answer, and also like to give you a different perspective. For me, I graduated from a neighborhood secondary school. I did decently well. I managed to get into a neighborhood JC. I qualified for about 50% of the JCs and about 80% of the poly courses. So this is the perfect opportunity for parents to like, oh, hey, you should go to JC, easier to get to uni and stuff like that. But if you think about it, right, only about 70 to 80% of JC students end up in a local U when they graduate. But what they do not know is that for neighborhood JCs, the chances of getting into a university, it's much lower. It could go to about 50% or sometimes even 20 to 30%. So it's almost like easier to get into uni if you go through the poly route, if you're passionate about doing something that you really like. So some of the parents, they also feel that you go to JC, you will graduate 1 year earlier, when that is not necessarily the case. If you go to a course, let's say nursing or engineering, you can actually skip 1 year of university and you'll graduate the same time as your peers who entered JC. But the difference is you will get much more hands-on experience as compared to them. In this case, you will get the advantage over the JC student. These are some of the factors that I did not think about and my parents weren't aware of. Research more on what you want to do in life. It's really very hard to decide what you want to do when you're 16 years old. Like now I'm 24 and I'm almost graduating from university, majoring in finance, and I'm not very sure if finance is the route for me. I didn't take up a single finance internship and I went on to pursue something in the beauty industry. Life is really unpredictable. You will never know what to expect. If you didn't do well for O-levels, that's not the end of the world. In life, you can't really predict where you end up. You don't really have to have a degree to excel in life. Yeah. Back to my point about trying to convince your parents. Here are 3 options for you to help you to convince your parents. So the first point is to do your research about the course that you want to enter and list down a few options, create your spreadsheet, and show your parents that you actually did your research and know what are your choices after you graduate from poly. By showing your parents that you are independent, you're mature enough to speak to people in the industry, to get to find out more, right, they'll be much more assured that you know what you want and like maybe tend to listen to you a bit more, because Asian parents can be quite like. The second option is to just pursue JC for the first few months, which was what I did. I tried JC for 3 months and I felt that I couldn't take the stress because I studied really hard and I ended up failing for almost all my tests. Yeah, and I wanted to transfer to poly. So the second option is that you can still transfer to poly in the same academic year after 3 months, because JC starts in late January to Feb. So you have January, Feb, March to try out, and you can still apply for poly even when you're still in JC for the first 3 months to get into poly before the term starts. However, there's a risk for that. You might not be able to get the course that you want because the vacancies are already filled up. Yeah, so even if you meet the cut-off point, if the vacancy is like full, no one transfer out of the course, you will not get the course you want. So you might end up with a course that is your second or third choice. So that is something to think about. Last case is to at least try out JC for 1 year to see if you are suitable, and if not, you can always go to poly the following year. So this might seem a bit controversial because like most people will see it as like, oh, I'm wasting 1 year of my life in JC not doing anything. But that is not necessarily the case, because I have a few friends who went to poly after 1 year of JC and they end up doing very well. They end up getting scholarships, securing like a lot of very good internships after that. One thing that JC taught them is like perseverance and resilience. When they dropped out to go for poly, they brought this trait along with them, which I feel like gives them like a notch above like their peers. That's why they're able to do so well in poly. So don't be afraid to just try out first to see if you can cope with the curriculum, but you won't know unless you try it. So the last suggestion is to just apply for poly anyway, because like at 16 years old, you're sort of like there but not so there yet. Like you still need to listen to your parents, but you also need to make some of your own life decisions, because I feel like if you go to a course in poly that something that you love, like you will tend to excel in it. So if you're passionate about something, like let's say like nursing or engineering, you will do better there, and you get to skip 1 year of university when you graduate, so you end up at the same pace as like your peers. Receiving your O-level grades can be like a very big thing, but trust me, after like maybe about 3 to 4 years, you won't really think about it. Employers don't look at your O-level grades, they look at your diploma, maybe your uni GPA, but O-levels is like, yeah, unless you want to teach tuition, I mean the parents will, oh, what you get for O-levels. Yeah, but other than that, there's really no need to worry so much about it. Even if you didn't perform as well, there's still many doors waiting for you to open. I'm sure that if you put in effort for the next year, you will definitely do well, and that's some of the things that I want to say. I hope that this was helpful, and yeah, see you, bye.